Really quick, really important, could prevent some serious injury. I don't want to put too much drama into this. 6mm to 6mm, quarter inch to quarter inch. I just want to put the information out there clearly so people understand it. If you've got any doubts, leave a comment. If you've got anything to add, leave a comment. I want to talk about router cutters and collets and the various sizes that are available. So the common ones are a quarter inch and a half inch. Now that's fine, no problem at all. There are other sizes available, but whatever size you have, you need the matching collet to fit the shank of the cutter. Therefore, if you've got a quarter inch collet, you need to put a quarter inch router in it. No, you need to put a quarter inch router cutter into it. And I'm talking about the shank, not the cutting head, the shank of the cutter. Metric and imperial always comes up. Another YouTuber put out a video recently where he quotes metric and imperial dimensions for his timber, and that's fine. So, yeah, quarter inch, it's not exactly, but it's close enough in terms of what you're doing in the thickness of a piece of wood that 6mm is equivalent to that. That's fine, but it's equivalent, it's not the same. A quarter of an inch is 6.35 millimeters. It's very, very close. Now that 0.35 of a millimeter, and it's about a third of a millimeter, teeny weeny thing, that is enough to really mess up your day in terms of a spinning router cutter. Now 6mm shanks and 6mm collets are available. They're tight tolerance machined parts. If you buy a cutter, which is a quarter of an inch shank, you need a quarter of an inch collet that goes on it. If you put a 6mm shank in a quarter of an inch collet, that 0.35 of a millimeter is enough to significantly increase the chances that the two would separate, you know, close to the machine. And if it detaches, there is a chance that, you know, it's spinning potentially 28,000 times a minute. You don't want to think about what could happen there. A 6mm shank of a cutter needs to go in a 6mm collet. Likewise, a quarter inch cutter needs to have a quarter inch collet. Quarter inch cutter, quarter inch collet. 6mm to 6mm, quarter inch to quarter inch. They've got to be the same. Now this can be confusing if you buy your cutters and your machine parts online. Not because you don't know necessarily the information, because hopefully you haven't watched this, you now do. The person selling it may not be aware of that, you know, 6mm, quarter inch, they're really close, that'll do. But it's not the case. So you might be mistakenly sold a mismatching part. 6mm to 6mm, quarter inch to quarter inch. Now the same goes for CNCs. If you've got a router as your spindle, you can get 1/8 inch cutters. You can get 1/8 inch collets to go with them. And you can get 3mm cutters, but you need a 3mm collet to put in your spindle to match the two together. And actually for CNC, it could potentially be even more catastrophic, because we don't necessarily all sit there babysitting. It could happen and fly out, and you're over the other side of the workshop. Something happens, and you've got, you know, cutters flying around the workshop. So be aware of that. Stay safe. Don't be tempted to try and put a 6mm cutter in a quarter inch collet, because there's not enough squeeze. Likewise, don't try and put a quarter inch cutter in a 6mm collet, because you'll stretch it. That will damage the collet. A damaged collet will then damage other cutters that you put into it, and you end up in this spiral of needing to change parts all the time. So hopefully the information I've just imparted will keep you safe, keep you in pocket, and keep you busy. So I'll put some other videos in cards and stuff like that. There's loads of information on this channel for experienced and new router users. So we'll see you back here next time for another build video. I've got loads in post-production ready to come out. So we'll see you soon.